Guys, we're live on both of these, just a touch before 11. Why am I blurry here? We might just have to deal. I don't know. Sorry, guys. I don't know what the deal is there. We have a bunch to talk about today. Phoenix real estate market. Of course, the questions that we've gotten in the last little bit, we can start there. So rates today, I just checked on mortgage rates daily is 6.2 for conventional. It's like a 5.77 for FHA. So they've kind of been holding there all year long. Kind of good. We're seeing a lot of buyers come back into the market, a lot of showings, a lot of traffic again. And we'll see where that winds up getting us. So some of the markets are really, really localized. We only have a couple that are balanced, and I think 3 or 4 that are still buyers markets. The rest of them has switched into weak seller markets. The caveat to that stuff is, of course, that there's nuances to each neighborhood. Like I was just looking at one of our neighborhoods. Technically, the city is balanced. The neighborhood is still a deeply swayed buyer's market. So there's a lot of flexibility in that specific neighborhood right now. So some of those things that you can kind of keep an eye on and find good value in neighborhoods like that right now. So it's not going to stay like that for long, it seems like, from watching the trajectories that we've been watching. But there are still some of those neighborhoods that you can get deals in right now. What other questions do we have? What can we talk about, you guys? What questions? I didn't have a whole lot of questions this week. So we've got 70, let me find our number, 7611 today as of pending contracts. So those are homes that have an offer on them. That's up from like the high 4s, low 5s in December. So that's a big jump right there. So our year is starting off a lot stronger and a lot earlier than anybody was anticipating. So great news, all good news. Oh, the other question that I got was what's going on down in Coolidge. So I'm glad I remembered that because that was a big one. I just wanted to point out that there's 430 acres that just got sold for $53 million to Procter & Gamble in that inland, Arizona's inland port. And so what that is, it's in Coolidge. It's right between Eloy and Coolidge on 87, right where that rail line comes down. Nikola is in there. We have that roping listing, that roping facility right there. That's also as part of that section of land. So Procter & Gamble is going to be building a big facility there. I don't know how big of a facility, how many jobs that is. I don't have those numbers yet. The deal just closed in the last like 10 days or so. So $53 million for 430 acres. It's a pretty good deal. $125,000 an acre just for the raw desert there. So that's a big boost to everything going on in Coolidge. Not that Coolidge needed a big boost. It's kind of been one of the bigger developed areas and the big focus for new construction, new warehousing, new distribution centers, new stuff like that. If you're looking at investing, that is a spot that I would say keep an eye on this. There's not enough houses to service the demand that's coming in with all of these new companies and all of these new businesses. So expect to see a lot more developments happening down there and a lot more just building in general. So they're also going to be beefing up that convergence between I-10 and I-8. That's another big corridor that we should be seeing a lot of stuff coming. So I'll be able to share a little bit more with you on that after our economic summit, which is coming up on February, I think it's the 8th. So just in a couple of weeks. So we'll have some really good facts on what's going on in Pinal County and then across town too on what to expect new development wise, new business wise, and new construction. So what other questions do we have? Who's chiming in with questions? We got them. Here's one, the Goldman Sachs, the dang article that came out a couple of days ago. Those guys are doing a little bit of fear-based selling right now and selling their media so that you guys keep consuming it. Housing news is always something that everybody is really interested in, and so everybody gobbles that up. So keep in mind, That's their MO. Okay. So our status right here, we've dropped about 12 or 13% since the height of the market last year in home values. And that dipped us into a buyer's market that literally lasted 4 weeks. Guys, rates are already at 6.2. They're forecasting that they'll get to 6.23 in 2023. Guys, they're already there. So I don't know what they're looking at as far as stats go and as far as our market goes. And then comparing, this year or last year to the big drop in 08, like we lost 60% of home value. We've lost 13. I don't think that those quite compare. So if you want to know the straight stats that we're looking at, you can Google Cromford Report. Google a Cromford Report. They're really the main source of information here locally as far as the real estate market goes. They're tracking real numbers, real demand, real supply, where those contracts are coming from, inbound migration as best as we can, interest rates and how all of that affects it. They're like the, stats on crack here. So don't be paying attention to that Goldman Sachs article. The real estate market is not heading for a massive crash. Even within their article, they're comparing a 25% drop to 60%. That's a big difference. And I hope that you guys can kind of see through their fear-based selling there. So we have gotten a lot of questions about that. You're not alone looking at that one and asking. So, breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. Phoenix isn't looking like it's going to be doing anything that they had said in that article. We're coming into our spring market a lot stronger and a lot sooner than we were anticipating after the end of last year. Our buyer's market seemed to be 4 weeks long. So right in November and just a touch into December. And we've started talking about this on our updates, but our demand started bouncing back and we started getting more showings, more calls, more questions, more mortgage applications, all of that to bring our demand back in late December. And so that just kind of has continued. I had a friend that had an open house last weekend. There were 100 people through again. So it's coming back. The rates and the prices have kind of hit a level such that buyers are willing to get back into the game. And without having to compete and throw $100,000 up and over a list price, they're willing to spend a little bit of money to buy down the rate so that payment is a lot better. And fun fact right now, seller concessions are averaging $10,000. That buys your rate down a lot. That can make a big difference in your monthly payment. And sellers are willing to do that all day long right now. Even with the little bit of a seller's market that we're seeing, concessions are still a big play. So if you have questions on any of that, let me know and we can get you in touch with a lender so you can see what exactly that dollar amount would be for the price range that you're looking in. And then we can negotiate that into the contract on the houses that we're looking at. So which cities are buyer market cities still? Queen Creek, Maricopa, Goodyear, Buckeye. Those are the 4 that we're seeing. There's a few that are balanced I can pull it up here. If you give me a second, if you care. Balance is Surprise, Peoria, and Gilbert. And then everything else is a seller's market. Fountain Hills is still the strongest, 63% above normal. And Tempe is the weakest seller's market at just 7% above normal. But a lot of our cities are improving about on an average of 20% each month. And so it's going to go really, really fast if those buyers markets start rebounding and moving into balance. So we should see that in the next couple of months, that we probably won't have anything in a buyer's market anymore. So if you're waiting on the fence, don't wait anymore. This is it. This is your chance before the competition lights up. So give me a call. We're happy to jump in and help you kind of make a deal. Now's the time to make a deal. So phone number for us, 480-518-9907. Send me an email with questions. We'll answer them again next week, Friday at 11 a.m. Chelsea, CHELSEA, at YourRedDoorTeam, AZ like Arizona.com. And we'll see you next week. Thanks, guys.